Good evening. I'm Sergeant Tom Letras with the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department, and this is your daily update for Thursday, April 30th, 2020. So tonight I just really want to talk about two things. One of the first things I want to address is a question that came up in last night's Q&A, and I want to clarify. I've also seen several comments on our Facebook feeds regarding how is a COVID-19 death classified. Now, Supervisor Olson mentioned last night that it is required that the person test positive for COVID for that to be classified as a COVID death. There were a few people that were a bit confused by this, and so what I want to clarify is if someone tested positive for COVID-19 and were to get in, say, a automobile accident and that was the cause of their death, that would not be a COVID-related death. That would not be reported as a COVID-related death. What we are looking at is we are looking at the presence of an illness as well as a positive COVID test. So it's not an accident and a positive COVID test. It would be an illness and a positive COVID test. And I hope that kind of clarifies a little bit for you. Now, understand that COVID isn't necessarily the cause of the death. COVID is a contributing factor that then other illnesses could be the cause, such as a diabetic contracting COVID-19 could then cause them to die of their diabetes-related causes, but COVID is a contributing factor. So I hope that that clears that up. The second part of my message tonight is an appeal to tolerance for many of you, for all of us. We are dealing with unprecedented times. We are dealing with a virus that we have never in the history of our country, of the world, had to deal with. Now, I've said before, we read many of your comments, and we see in there that there are people that have very strong and very differing views. And we respect and appreciate each person's views. We understand that each of our views are made up by our own perspectives and what is important to us. But what I would ask is I see people getting in arguments, people who think that we should open everything back up because COVID is a hoax, and people who think that we should all stay locked down indefinitely because of COVID, because of their fear of their safety. Now understand that our county leaders, our public health directors, everybody who is working on this COVID response is truly trying to make the best decisions we can make for all of us. And we understand that that's not going to fit with everybody. We understand that some of you have been affected economically. We understand that some people have lost loved ones. Some people have been very sick. So what I would ask is that as you comment to others, please try to understand the perspective with where they are coming from. Now, many of us who work in this COVID response, we may be elected officials, or we may be people who have signed up for jobs, and you could easily say, hey, not my problem, that's the job you signed up for. And we accept that responsibility. We understand that not everybody is going to agree with us all of the time. But what we would ask is for some grace, for some understanding, because this is something that none of us have dealt with. So we try to do our best to understand all the sides, and we would ask that you do the same. So thank you for tuning in. Remember to think about others' thoughts, and even though it may not align with yours, they should have the right to have their opinions. So thank you, and have a good evening.